but we only scratch the surface of the meaning of the book.
All right, I'm looking at these 24 chapters, and you mentioned that these were probably people, for the most part, that are well known. However,
there's one or two.
However, no, JL, we should probably talk about JL. She's my heroine, but for giving a guy a really bad headache. But the chapter 9, Rizpah.
I knew you were going to say that one. Who is she?
What is a Rizpah anyway? Help us,
Rizpah?
enlighten us with that one.
I did put in one or two. Put in one or two just because they're good stories. And actually, anytime, Gary, that there's a book published on, great women of the Bible or something like that, or lesser known people of the Bible, she ought to have a chapter in it.
Yeah.
And one of the she was related to the kingdom of Saul, and then she was taken over into the kingdom of David, both by marriage. And it ends up being a story that sort of it shows the heart and soul of David as well, how he treated her and her sons, as he is who were Saul's heirs, as he's trying to reestablish his kingdom, or establish the kingdom of Israel under his own line instead. And so it's a very human story. She loses her boys in the process and doesn't receive justice until David is sort of forced into recognizing her by a famine sent by God. And then he sort of solves the issue and resolves the problem. The problem is more than just, in the story, is more than just Saul's kingdom gives way to David's kingdom, but something very practical in the day. Your bones are buried in a foreign land. Today we would say, okay, they're buried in a foreign land, but in a country where the identity of a person is so tightly tied to place, the homeland worth fighting for, the final resting place has to be at home as well. And David, in the end, arranges for the bones to kind of come back and be buried where they're supposed to be, and laid where they're supposed to be, and then it's like his kingdom can enter the peace that it should have. So it touches a lot of issues.
There you go.
It touches a lot in a short story, just one chapter in 1 Samuel, but a very human story as well, as she bewails both the loss of her status and the loss of, since Saul's kingdom is gone, and the loss of her actual family. As a result. Yeah.
Good. Very good. So just for that alone, they need to buy the book. Yeah. Just for that alone.
Yeah.
I mean, where else would they find that story? Not in like 1 Samuel, right?
In the Bible.
You find it in the Bible. It's you can preach on it, but it's kind of a bloody one, actually.
Michael, his first wife, is an interesting story too.
Yeah.
It's kind of the reverse, that she saves him from his silly decision making to go after her husband. Was his name Abel?
Yeah.
Mabel? Table? What was her first husband's name? Anyway, I wanted to ask you about